I have never stopped getting a charge out of helping somebody. If I can get into a situation where somebody comes in with a bad situation and I make it better, that's a charge to me. I really do understand that. And it's like I don't want to say it's like a game, but it's clearly a competition for me. I've got to see somebody for the first time and help them, make their situation a whole lot better. And thankfully, I've been very, very successful in doing that. And I've maintained relationships with clients. If I can go on a tangent, this is one of my favorites. I had a client, one of the first cases that I ever tried was an age discrimination case back in the late 80s. In fact, the final judgment in that case came out the day, it was a jury trial, came out the day my second daughter was born, and that's almost 30 years ago. After that client's case was finished, we used to call, that was before texting and before email, we used to call every Friday and talk about the upcoming week's football games and talk about those. We did that for a good 10 years until they passed away. It's relationships like that that are very rewarding to me. You know, credentialing is pretty important to a lawyer. Board certification is one of them that I'm particularly proud of. And basically what that means, it's not only passing a test back in 1994, which I did, but maintaining and focusing on what's new. We have a very strict requirement of hours we have to take for continuing education. It's 15 hours in our specialty area alone. So that doesn't include other things that I need as a lawyer, like discovery and things like that. This is 15 hours in my area, labor and employment law, per year. That's number one. Number two, I have been very privileged to have been asked to present as a speaker at several seminars over the years, mostly in labor and employment type cases. And I, in fact, have been asked on many occasions to provide the education to the judges. So I have the judges sitting and, listening to me. And then, hopefully when I get to their court and they're ruling a certain way, I could, they'll remember what I told them and others. It's not going to sway rulings, but I do establish a good degree of credibility with the judges. But perhaps the one thing I'm really most proud of was back in the late 90s to the early 2000s, I was asked to edit and prepare what we call the Texas pattern jury charges. So at the end of a trial, the jury is given what's called the charge. It's a familiar term to a lot of people, basically questions and instructions. But those questions and instructions come from somewhere. They've got to be written somewhere. They obviously come from the applicable law and things like that. But I was in charge of it on the employment law side from the plaintiff's perspective. I worked with, one of the people I worked with later became the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Texas and other people. And that was a huge honor because even to this day, I've not done it for the last several years. They do update it, pass it on to other people. But it's just so rewarding to still see my name in there as an editor from the day they started. That was very rewarding, and I really enjoyed that.